Coming to you from the Strings and Things studio in Ventura, California, I'm Karin.
I'm Katie.
I'm Anne.
And this is the Strings Unraveled podcast. Welcome, everybody.
Woo-hoo.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's January already. 2025. It's a weird number.
I'm having much trouble writing the year.
Yeah.
This is the first... today was the first day I actually had to write it in physical form. I mean, when I can always just tap something and scroll, but it's when you have to write it physically, there's a whole other mental process that happens.
That's true. I know it's that time of year where nothing makes sense. At least it's better than, what was it, last week? Like the limbo week where I didn't have any clue what day it was or where I was supposed to be when.
No, I like the person on social media who said it's airport rules. Have you guys seen that reel? So the week between Christmas and New Year's is airport rules, which that translates to like spend whatever you want on food. Sweatpants, like it's a no pants zone, sweatpants, leggings. Some people are drinking martinis at 10 a.m. Some people are having...
That's like a lifestyle.
Pancakes at 11 p.m. Whatever you want to eat, however much it costs. Money has no meaning.
Yep.
And, come dressed as you would to the airport. It's airport rules.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
So now we're off of airport rules, and it's time to get back to life.
I don't want to do that, though. Oh, well.
Can't we just live in the airport?
No.
There's a movie about that starring Tom Hanks.
There's a movie about that.
Yeah, it seems pretty crummy.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah, it's true.
No.
Well,
anyway,
who wants to start with what they're working on?
I say Anne volunteer. Oh, I was volunteering.
Nice try.
Okay, I am working on a Musselburgh.
Nice.
So
look at that.
I'm making this one for myself. The color
is that all black?
No, it's hard to tell, but it's VA. VAA.
Oh, I see it.
Two colors of Malabrigo. Oh, thank you for the extra light.
Got it.
So VA is that like almost black green with bits of like oceany navy and slightly lighter greens and blues. But it does like read almost as black. And then Malabrigo seems to have done a color family of zodiac signs. Okay. So this one's called Sagittarius, and it's like the most lovely, rich, jewel-tony, Christmassy red and green and gold. Because it's Sagittarius, which are the December babies.
That's beautiful.
And it's knitting
except for is there Capricorn in there too? Because
I guess Capricorn is the actual Christmas babies.
Yeah.
True.
Just saying.
Yeah. That what a Capricorn thing to say. it was said by a Leo.
Actually,
what a Leo way to respond. And Leo is gorgeous. Leo is like kind of like the color story in that tote bag you have, where it's like it's a brighter blue. Yeah, but with like splotches of purpley pink in it. It looks like they did like a saturated blue dye with some ties or something. Ooh. And then they plopped in like an orchid color that just kind of seeped in. So
that sounds cool.
Real pretty.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I haven't absorbed all the others, but
I'm sure mine is red. Aries.
Aries, yeah.
Which is boring.
So Musselburgh's going pretty well.
I have one of those started, but
I'm pro doing it in worsted weight, guys.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Mine's gonna be extremely wearable.
Is there an adaptation? Wait. So is there an adaptation for different weights for Musselburgh?
Yeah, the whole pattern is.
It goes from like 9 stitches to the inch. I think is the smallest stitches. It could go smaller because the pattern is now like from heavy lace weight to like
I should check my updates. I should actually check the updates once in a while to see what actually changed, because it was only fingering when I first got it. But
yeah, no, it's a like any almost in any yarn.
Any weight.
And you don't have to do a gauge swatch because it's like you just start.
You measure it, yeah. Which I'm not like technically a big fan of, but it's also very cool.
Yes.
Like technically, you shouldn't really get your gauge swatch at this point, but let's do it. It's a hat. Do you know your sign or what, Katie?
Red. Aries, red.
Wow.
Show us Capricorn.
Okay.
So I'm working on that muscle
Probably.
board.
I don't know what a half goat, half fish colorway would look like.
I feel like it's going to be bluey. Bluish.
It's not. It's brown.
It's brown?
It is.
For the goat.
Maybe they're leaning
For
into
the
the
goat.
goat side.
Yeah, it's very goat.
They're leaning more goat.
It's a pretty brown. It's going to be hard to see on your
I
screen,
like,
but
you know what?
that
Lately
is
I've been
pretty.
really into
I
brown.
Can see you
so
making something in that color.
it's nice.
The red,
I'm
no.
looking that up
You
now.
don't do the reds.
I mean, I don't mind red. It's just not that
It's not
exciting.
your top of
Ooh, Virgo's
list.
nice though. That's James's
So
color.
So this is a Malabrigo, you
Ooh,
said?
that's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, Rios.
The other thing
Is it
I'm
just
working
Rios or
on-
just in any? Is that?
I don't know.
just
I bought it in Rios because that's what Fabric Town had, but they tend to do it across all
Okay.
their weights usually.
I'll give it a try. It would be nice to have something quick that I could get done in a while it's still cold.
Well,
I mean, it is
definitely
great to
quicker
have
than
sweater
making it
weather.
fingering weight. Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
quicker than making it fingering weight, but it's still kind of a long haul for a hat. Do you
Yeah.
guys remember these wool stock octopus type things I got?
Yeah.
That are all the
Tiny
Yeah,
minis,
yeah.
27 colors of wool stock from Blue Sky Fibers. So
Yeah,
I
the
needed
21
one more.
Oh, the 21 sweater, 21 color hat. That's what that is.
Oh, yeah, okay. This has 27 colors in it. So I went.
Fantastic.
We went north to Pismo for Kevin's birthday. Work, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was also my first weekend off in a long time. So it's like, yeah, it's your birthday trip, but we're going to yarn stores. So he was a good sport, especially when it turns out he was getting really sick as we went around places.
Oh,
So he
no.
was a very good sport. And we went to Old Arcot Knittery, and this was on my shopping list to buy more wool stock because that's where I had originally bought these color things, and I needed one more instead of shopping online. So she thought her stock said she had one more, but she couldn't find it. So instead, she dug through her bin of individuals and did her best to put the 27
she's so
colors
nice.
together for me.
Wow.
And we got to 23, which is gives me 2 spares for the number of squares I need to make.
That's awesome.
So I am making a Jethro-esque, which I can't
Ooh.
remember who the designer of Jethro
Tannis.
is. Tannis Gray?
Tannis Fiber Arts. I don't
Okay.
know what their last name is.
And so that's the granny square sweater with
Love
it's all here's all my granny squares, Karin.
I'll finish mine someday.
Like
Oh, look at
everybody was
that.
like, I was working on them this weekend.
Is that enough for a
"What's
sweater?
that?" Well, I need 74 of these.
Oh,
Here is
okay.
20.
It's called
yeah, 19 or 20.
So it's a Jethro sweater. That's right.
So I
that
wanted
Katie did.
the Jethro is done in a conventional granny square. This with clusters. This is probably has a name because it's probably just as ancient as that granny square we all think of. But it's one where you do it like all solid along the sides, and then you just increase in the corners.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
like the only holes are the corners. Because I wanted a motif that was going to use up exactly one.
That's awesome.
Which it like sometimes I have a tail that's like 1.5 feet, and sometimes I have 1.5 inches. But it's so fun because they're so quick to make, and I am being very disciplined. And so far, I have woven in all of my ends on the
Smart.
squares that are finished so far.
You get a gold star.
Yep, and the color I really, really wanted to be my joining and my sleeves is
Mhm.
this dark green.
That's pretty.
Which I
Oh,
could easily
yeah.
probably tell you the name of because they all have tags. This color is called Wild Time, but she didn't have enough Wild Time, so instead,
THYME.
yeah,
Not Wild Time.
or is it?
Oh.
It's time, the ingredient. Yes.
What weight of wild? Wait. You need
Wool stock
a
worsted.
wild time.
No.
Oh,
I
worsted.
don't, because
I have it.
changed
I
my
have it
mind
in
anyway.
smaller. Oh, okay.
But I changed my mind because she had plenty of Midnight Sky.
That's pretty color. It's the same color as Bob.
I have that
Yeah,
color.
yes.
It's gorgeous.
Well, if you put these together,
I
you
love
got
all the
that.
wool stock.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
lovely for a woolen spun It's just
it has such a great hand.
Sweater in that color. I love it.
So it's so good.
So my
Highland wool, it's so soft and lovely.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't bite at all. It's lovely. It's what my Christmas sweater with the stowaway. My stowaway is made in that.
That's what I've been thinking. I couldn't remember the name of that because I was like, this is the yarn the Stevie sweater is being made in.
That's right. I had to think a moment. I'm like, wait a minute. I made that sweater.
And then, so I've like basically abandoned all the other things that I've been working on. I was thinking I'm going to go through our Instagram posts and look at like what have I shared with you guys, with like our listeners and with you over the last year, and just see what actually got finished and what I abandoned
or what you care to finish.
And what I might care to go back to. So one of our knitters was making this very cute cardigan called the Traveler's Cardigan, and it is just a very basic worsted weight, 15 stitches to 4 inches cardigan. But what really intrigued me is that she did something that I have often thought about doing. The button band is made, it's a horizontal button band, and it's made as you go, but on a smaller needle.
Oh, smart.
And I have thought about that. Because
is there short rows?
No. It's just you work on the big needle, and then these stitches are on the little needle.
Is it just garter or
just back
stitch?
It's ribbing.
Oh, smart.
It looks gartery because of my textured yarn and my striping. So I'm using a yarn whose name I do not know that I pulled from the stash exchange. I think from our first stash exchange, and it's like a boucle with like another thread of something that's almost like, it's not sparkly, but it has a sheen. And then Woolies, Lion Brand Woolies, has this brushed bulky yarn that actually works very well with it. Yeah, it's soft.
Just weigh anything.
Has very little acrylic in it, or really little wool, but mostly acrylic.
Put it to the camera so I can feel it.
Yeah, here you go. I'm just gonna push it in. Does that feel soft, Karin? But I have this very cool
so cozy
stripe pattern happening. Did you guys look at Traveler's Cardigan on Ravelry?
I will write it down.
No, but I could just also show you the pattern. I was just wondering if you had it queued up. It's just like a simple. Here you go, Karin.
Oh, I like it. Just nice, classic,
and like balloon kind of sleeves, kind of chunky. For
I like the texture stripe.
Yeah. Well, this is making it way more interesting because look at the back.
Oh,
so you start. Go back a little bit. Thank you. You pull that side. So you start by making the yoke, and you cast on and do short rows, and you make the back yoke like it's sort of the shape of a button-down shirt yoke, and then you pick up on the shoulders, and you go over the shoulders to make the right and left front.
Oh,
but look at how cool the back looks.
It looks great in stripes.
That's cool. It looks great.
The pattern never even shows you a picture.
It's almost wasted
of the back
without some color.
Because even, I'm sure it's actually, well, she kind of encourages you to try to make it look seamless as possible. But I love that you can really see it in the yarn choice that I have. It feels good. It's going to be super cozy. And I'm stash busting.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Our great stash swap is coming up again, you guys. If you are listening right now in January and you have things that you want to let go of, bring it in and drop off your stash, and then come back on the 25th and 26th and shop is in quotation marks.
Take it away.
Please take.
So people who want to unburden themselves,
free shopping,
get the freedom of getting rid of, and people who need some new stash get to refresh their stash. And sometimes those are the same people, and sometimes they are not the same people.
You do not have to donate in order to come and take.
Yeah,
those are two different actions. You don't, so you can just come and get some free yarn.
Yeah,
and other supplies. Sometimes we have other supplies.
We got lots of stuff.
So those are the things I'm working on. Nice. What are you working on, Katie?
Whoa. What am I working on? I am working on two different sweaters. am working on James's sweater, which was supposed to be a Christmas present, and lo and behold, I'm working on James's sweater, which was supposed to be a Christmas present.
Well, I mean, you can give. I saw this girl. She wraps swatches.
That would have been smart
because she does not.
I saw that. That was so brilliant. She didn't want the pressure.
I was gonna tell James after Christmas. I was like, "Let me show you what I'm making you. I didn't finish it in time." And he was like, "No, don't tell me."
Okay.
And I was like, "Please let me tell you." And he's like, "No." Which really, I kind of shot myself in the foot with that because I was knitting this in front of him.
Oh.
But I was like, he knows the bag that it's in because I was like, it's in that bag right there.
So now you can't.
So now I can't knit it in front of him because he knows I'm making something for him and he knows whatever. So I can really only work on it here. And he's like, no, you can't show me what it is until you finish it. And every day he's like, are you working on that thing for me?
Oh no!
And I'm like,
now you see that's what happened with Dante's sweater.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, that's what happened with Dante's sweater. Now I don't want to touch it.
I know. So there's James's sweater.
It's really well in its
way.
I
love it.
I've got
that's a great color.
6 inches of the body left and some arms.
Our favorite yarn.
Yep. It is Anchor's sweater, Anchor's shirt, Anchor's. I don't know,
what is the name of your favorite yarn? Because I was Lux like, Merino. I should go and get some of that. Lux Merino.
Lux Merino. Yeah, and it's super, like, what a good put up. It's $10 for 400
and that's from Joann's or from which
Michael's.
stores do you get? Michael's.
I like their color palette the first time around because it was more jewel tones. This is a little bit more muted palette.
Yeah,
but I'm glad it's part of their regular stock now.
This is a petite knits pattern Anchor's sweater, Anker, Anchor's sweater, my boyfriend's size. And I saw that and I was like, James likes green. And then I was like, wait a minute, I have yarn for that. So I'm making it exactly like the picture.
Gorgeous.
So that's one thing I should be working on because James keeps asking me about it. But I'm not working on that. I'm working on a sweater for me instead today.
Yay!
So this is the sweater that I am teaching as a class. It's called Rue.
I can't wait to see.
I saw that color work. I love the ladies on the picture.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's cute.
It's called Rue. The yarn I'm using is Cascade 220, and it is in this kind of like rusty-ish kind of color. And then I have like a buttery yellow and tan.
The shoulders on this are good.
Yeah, that's my other color.
Oh, that's gonna be classic.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's a interesting construction. It's like a what do you call that? Contiguous start, and then it's almost like a set-in sleeve shape for a while, and then it turns into a raglan for a while. So you're kind of getting the best of like a lot of things without any short rows.
Nice.
Which is kind of why I picked it, because it was an interesting construction.
Yeah, there's a modified contiguous, which is sort of a half contiguous, half raglan, where it goes like contiguous and then it rounds down.
Third set-in, third raglan. I don't know. It's interesting. So I'm in the raglan increases now.
It looks so engaging too because the color work doesn't start right away. So it looks like you get to enjoy it for so much more.
I'm working up to it, so that means I'm getting the yoke done quick, all the boring increase.
Because you're interested.
Because I'm excited to get to the color work.
This girl.
Yeah, she's great.
She's the Tolsta girl.
Yeah. Freya Bea is her designer name, and I can't remember off the top of my head what her actual name is. But
Tolsta girl.
Yeah, Tolsta
That's what
girl.
her mother named her. She saw her
Mrs.
future.
Tolsta. So those are the two things I'm working on. 2 sweaters. One that I'm more excited about than the other one. But oh well. What are you working on, Karin?
Okay, so I finished something which I'll show you later. So I felt compelled to go ahead and start something. And have you guys seen Catnip?
Yes. I like it. I keep thinking I'm going to make it for my oldest.
So I'm making it in Pearl Soho quartz, which is 65% merino, 35% Surrey alpaca. See, regular alpaca makes me scratch, but not Surrey. So I've got this is my main color.
Gorgeous.
And Pickle is my cat.
Aww.
Cute.
What is your actual cat's name? I forgot.
Joey. He also
Is
goes by Jojo, Kitty, and when he's in trouble, hey cat, stop.
That's like my dog Doug, who gets called Douglas.
So
a lot.
I'm not very far. I'm at you can see the top of the cat's ears right here.
Cute.
That's it, because it's top down.
Yeah.
And it's right leaning increases, like right lifted and left lifted increases, which I don't normally do, but I'm in that phase where I don't have to.
I think in her hands, she does a good application of it, because that's my irritation with that being a Vogue increase, is that not every designer like inserts it or explains it the same way. And so the count of how you're counting it doesn't always make sense.
Sometimes they count the slip stitch. Sometimes they don't count. And sometimes they slip it. Sometimes they knit it. There's no...
But I think in her hands, that's Caitlin Hunter,
you lift it, you work into it, it's a stitch. That she makes it really clear. Right. I've never had this from Pearl Soho before, and it is luscious. It feels like it's all cashmere, but it's just that longer fiber Surrey alpaca mixed with the merino. It's not superwash, so it's going to have a lot more body. Quartz.
Gorgeous.
Is this coming out backwards on your screen or?
No, it's perfect.
Okay, it's backwards on my screen because the way I'm looking at it, but
thankfully
that's good.
I can read it.
Cool. So I've got that. I had a couple test knits, and the deadlines were, I finished a couple of them. One of them is finished, but I'm going to have to frog back. But I didn't want to frog before that we recorded, so it counts as an FO. And technically for the test knit, it counts. It's just, you really have to watch your row gauge. My row gauge was off. Instead of cropped, I got a tunic. Oh, nice. So, but it actually, when I show you,
So that's a lot more knitting, I guess.
Let's see what else. Oh, okay. I love these. I got this for my birthday. I love these so much.
That in your current place.
I might even wear them to church because look, you'll never see what
Karin has some beautiful flowery socks that in the part you would see if she's wearing slacks, it just looks like pretty flowers on a black background, and it says, "Let's keep the dumb fuckery to a minimum."
Amen. So, but I do have. I worked on this before because you guys asked me if I was doing it in charcoal or not. I did get a little bit more done on the crochet mosaic that I was working on. And do you guys remember years ago when everyone was, when this really fun yarn came out from Pearl Soho?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, which I still want a sweater in this. This would be such a great sweater. It's what's it called? It's called Home Life is their yarn. And
they were doing
these I just made washcloths.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a bunch of them. And it's basically, think of it like a chenille, a very loose type of chenille. It's like a strand with a lot of short strands tied to it. And that's what gives you kind of this terry cloth feel. But it's really, it stretches nicely. It's 100% cotton, but it feels like it's got a memory. Yeah.
Is that what you're doing the mosaic in?
No, but I am working on these washcloths. I was like, because they're in the bag with the mosaic stuff.
Gotcha.
It's like when you pick up your phone to do a thing and you get distracted.
Yeah, the cat's not quite trained to not touch my yarn yet. He's just a kitten, but yeah. So I've got a little bit of the mosaic started.
Oh, that's pretty.
Very pretty.
Mm-hmm. So I like crochet. I like mosaic crochet. This is fun.
I think it's way fun. I don't really love knitted mosaic, but I do like crochet mosaic.
And I've done knitted mosaic. It doesn't engage me in the way that the crochet does. And right. I think I showed you. Yeah, these were the two yarns. I've got all kinds of stuff in my. That's where the
remind us the names of the colors.
Okay, so this peachy one is. Oh, these are Color Theory, and the peach one is, what is it called? Let me find the name. Himalayan Salt. It's kind of a peachy pink. It's not pink enough. It's more peach to me, but maybe some Himalayan salt is more peachy. Well, my Himalayan salt is okay, but what I did find an error in the chart, but this part that I colored in had been missing.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, it's one of those. I think there's a real difference between. It was a collaboration with the designer and Lion Brand, and the idea was Lion Brand people would um, tech edit it. They didn't, so that was an issue. Okay, and then this is Thunder.
Thunder.
I know in the previous lighting it looked more black, but you can see now it's more charcoal.
Yep.
So
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
So working on that, and like I said, I did the test crochet, and that. But that and just spending time with it, I actually didn't get hardly any crafting done the whole lot that week between Christmas and New Year's because my family was here and I was totally.
Well, it's hard to get your knitting out when you're waiting at the airport.
Well, no,
airport rules.
You got to remember that I only live 20 minutes from the airport. I drive there, pick them up, come home. It's in less than an hour. It's really nice. And yeah, so that was good. We did that. We went to a local cavern that is I always think of caverns and like caves being in mountains.
Yeah.
This cavern is just because there's no mountains where we live. It's all hills. So this cavern was discovered because there was a big flood, and when the waters came back, it left a big hole, and the cow went missing, and the farmer looked for his cow, and it was down in the hole.
All right.
It got sucked into the cavern.
And
there's a lot of bats, and these baby bats are only about 2 inches big. They look like little furry potatoes, and they're adorable.
How many rabies do they have?
Well, they're usually, you don't see families. We did find a family. They usually have like 1 or 2. I thought you said babies.
Right. As you went to families, I was like, that's not what I asked. I love bats in concept, but I am terrified about their rabies situation.
Okay. So these are not that way. These don't come out at night. They come out whenever they get hungry, day or night. They come out, they eat, and then they go back in and they sleep for about 2 weeks. Oh, nice. And they just do this for a few months before they move on. And they generally, so they did have one bat that was a little bit older. And she says, you can tell she's older because her fur gets gray, just like ours, when she gets older. That she's a few years, about 5 years old. They don't have a long lifespan, but anyway, that is all that's on my needles.
Cool. That is a respectable amount for each of us.
Yeah. Not too crazy.
Yeah. No. Oh, I have one other. I have a hat, which is not that exciting, but I have a hat. Here. A hat.
That is adorable.
I am making a bunch of hats for my nieces and nephews, and so I found
so springy.
Yes, my youngest niece, her favorite colors are pink and yellow. And I just dropped it, so I don't remember what this yarn is.
Soft.
It's pretty sure it's a Cascade yarn. I picked it up at Fabric Town. It's 100% acrylic. I'll try and remember the name of it, but
it's pretty.
It's a hat. Not that
it's
exciting.
Pretty.
It's a hat for a 5-year-old.
You still get credit.
Yes. What have you finished lately, Anne?
Well, I finished 2 Musselburghs, which I have to show you in pictures because I
already gave them
away. So I didn't feel like I had enough stuff for Kevin and for Alexander, so they each got Musselburghs. And I presented Kevin to him sort of the way I gave you guys those slippers where the lining slips into itself, so it just looks like weird mittens when you have it untucked. So I showed him
this long pill-shaped
thing. I was like, the length of the Musselburgh, and I was like, here's a hat. And he's like, how? Yeah. Pardon me? That's like a lot of fabric for a hat. And then I showed him how it tucks in on itself. And so back in 2017, we stopped at in Ashland, Oregon, their big yarn store, it's called like, I don't remember what it's called, but if you're in Ashland, you know this store and it's great. And they had some cashmere on sale that wasn't exactly his color, but it was like close enough. It was like a periwinkle kind of purple. He likes royal purple, but it was cashmere for like an affordable price, and it was 100% cashmere. So like I picked that up while we were in Ashland, and we were on our way to go see the eclipse. So I knitted that during our trip and gave him this rolled brim hat. And he does use it, which Kevin does not have any desire to have anything warm or knitted usually, but he does like to wear that. So I made him this out of Malabrigo Rios and a yarn from Barocco called Sesame. I don't have his color in here, but I showed you guys last time. No, I showed you at book club. But it's this kind of cool textured yarn, and his is in purple stripes. And it's very cool. It's wool and other things.
Pretty.
So it's not like real soft, but it's nice.
It's soft enough, yeah.
But Malabrigo Rios is fine merino.
Yeah.
And it is soft.
That's cute.
But I made it for Kevin. Here's his long tube. So I did the color blocking where you...
it's a potato hat.
Yeah. I did the color blocking where you do like your main color for a while, then you do 3.5 inches of your contrast and switch back to your main color, and then finish the hat in the second color. So that way you can wear it and it has a contrast brim and slouchy, or you can flip it up and the brim and the main part of the hat match each other, which is what I'm doing for my hat too. So he puts it on and he's being real good natured. I made the biggest, which is to fit a 26-inch head. And the thing with this hat is the thicker you make your fabric and then you roll up a brim, it's getting like it's not really as huge of a hat. So his feedback was, well, it's not as soft as my other one. And it's a little tight. Because you got a big Irish head. So
your head will stretch it. Tell him your head will stretch it.
But it's not as soft as the cashmere, so I don't think he's ever gonna.
No, you really did yourself dirty.
Right.
Now he's used to cashmere.
Yep.
It's got champagne taste.
Yep. So and here's
champagne hat taste.
What I have with me is the leftover from his potato.
Cute.
And I like a hat potato. Okay, I gotta get on that.
Sesame and Ravelry Red was his contrast because he's a go-to for red. And he's wearing his around and not because I've never given him a cashmere hat.
Sure. So he's
the nicest I've given him is he has.
I don't do cashmere for my kids.
Out of good merino, but he has 2 sweaters out of good merino.
So that's as good as he knows.
Yes.
Got
so it. I didn't ruin him yet. And I made a fully black musselburgh, which I have a picture of on the head, but you don't need to see.
It's black.
That right now. It's a fully black one because Dante went to something for Civil Air Patrol and they said he needed a completely black beanie, but he'd already bought like a commercially made one, so he didn't want to wear mom's because he wasn't sure it was regulation.
Okay.
But he was in Colorado, and I think he probably had like a polyester beanie.
Yeah.
And they said warm is more important than being in uniform. But whatever.
Well, I've been sitting here looking at this and really wanting to know what it is.
So we went away for New Year's Day and a couple days around it, and Mirabella got a kerchief and put a kerchief or a bandana to tie back her hair because that's sort of resurging, I think. And so I was like, I could knit and crochet you a bunch of those or make you a whole bunch out of fabric. And I'm very proud of myself because this is all stash. It's a pizza slice kerchief.
It's a piece of pizza.
Oh, cute.
And this one has sausage because she doesn't like pepperoni.
The pepperoni one's better.
Yeah. So then my sister-in-law actually works in a pizza joint. So I followed the
pattern.
That's
hysterical.
Yeah. So
that
the designer
is so
has
fun.
Little half pepperonis, or you could do as many whole pepperonis as you want.
That's like the perfect color cheese.
It's
yarn too.
It's loops and threads, impeccable, in a color called like fiery sunshine or
pizza
something
cheese.
like that. Yeah, it should have been called pizza cheese.
Extra cheese.
So all of this was stash except the pom-poms.
Funny.
I did have to buy the pom-poms. And I was proud of myself for like to part of my brain, it felt like cheating, but I glued down all of the sausages and then I sewed them down.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm letting the glue as a helper come in. So this one's for Bella, and this one is for my sister-in-law, and I'm going to send it off to her now that I've shown it to you.
That's hilarious.
I want to do like an everything pizza one for myself.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like. I like everything. And I still have sausages.
I always think of James when, like, pizza iconography, like, whatever, because, like, he loves it. And Ninja Turtles. And so anything with pizza, I'm like, this is for James.
Well, you put one of these babies on, he's going to be real turned on.
He's so cute. He's not that into, like, pizza as a food, like, as much as a normal person, but anything with pizza on it, I'm like, James, this is for you. I found a set of dice online the other day that was, like, all pizza themed. And I was like, these are $30, and I already got James a Christmas present, so I just sent it to him. I was like, you need these.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I ordered those the other day. And I was like, I'm so glad you did, because you needed to own them, but I wasn't going to buy them for you. Oh, that's so
you
funny.
Just sent him the picture of it?
Yeah, I just sent him the link. I was like, you need this.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yep.
Yeah, so I finished those 3. I finished 3 hats and 2 pizza slices.
Nice.
Nice. And again, so proud of myself that it was all stash. I bought the pizza cheese color because there were those cute little crocheted cauldrons that you made coasters, and the coasters had baubles on the side, so you stuffed them into the cauldron to hold them, and it looked like a boiling potion.
Cute.
But now it's
fun.
It's better pizza.
I think it's perfect.
It's perfect for pizza because you get like almost a little bit of red, like the sauce.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Yeah. And those are all the things I finished, because Musselburgs are in worsted are faster than in fingering weight, but they are time consuming.
Yeah, they're not an insignificant project. Yeah. Well, what have I finished? One of my nieces, there's 7 children in my family. One of them, I saw a picture of them. They went out to the Parade of Lights, and she was wearing her brother's hat from when he was a baby. And I was like, this does not do. Aww. She needs her own hat.
Yeah.
So I started off by making one hat for Maggie. So this is Maggie's hat, which I have not given to her yet because I haven't seen her since I made it for her.
I love that color.
So I was like, I'll make one little hat for Miss Maggie, and cool. And then I didn't. Do you
remember what the name of that color is?
No, this is the yarn from the stash swap from last year that didn't come with any sort of label on it. So I don't know what it is. It's like pink and cream and all the little bits of bobs of all the colors. But it's like confetti. It's so cute.
It looks like delicious.
I know. Like a strawberry cake with like funfetti.
Yes, exactly.
But then I was like, well, I'll make new hats for all the kids.
Aww.
This when's the last time I made hats for them? So this is the one for Robert, for her older brother. Also have not given that to him yet. This is...
He's growing up. He goes by Robert, huh?
Yes. Well, when he's being serious.
Okay.
Or Bobby. This is Finnegan's, which I saw all of those kids, my sister's kids, they spent the night at my house, and it's too small for his big, giant 8-year-old head. So
maybe it goes to Robert.
It's going to go to somebody, but it was supposed to be for Finnegan, and it does not fit him.
How old is he now?
He's 9.
Oh, does he have an adult size?
No, he's 10.
It was just a...
No, he's 10. Yeah, he's 10 years old because he was born in 2014.
Aww.
So 10-year-old, he keeps telling me he's a preteen now.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
It's because they hit double digits, and it's like, no, 3 more years,
like,
kid.
You're not a preteen yet, and somebody Googled it for him, and Google says 9 to 12, which I don't agree with. But he's like, well, that means I'm a preteen now.
Google said,
yeah, Google said. So I have to reknit James's Finnegan's hat because it's too small for him. But I made 7. Well, no, I've made 6. I'm working on the 7th. The other 3 I gave to the children that were around and that fit them. So
that's a Cinderella hat now.
Yes, it'll fit somebody. Yep. So I made a bunch of hats for the children, and then last year I have family that lives in Oregon, and they came down to visit, but then somebody got sick and we weren't able to see them last year. And I had knitted them all hats because they live in the cold, and I wasn't able to see them. So the box has been sitting around for a year, all wrapped and ready to go. But in the meantime, they've had another baby. Aww. So I broke open the box, looked at the hats, and knitted another one to go with it. Nice. So I've already given them, but there's a set of 4 hats, and these are wool stock, that same yarn that I doubled.
I love that.
I knitted my own pattern.
I think that This one is, because I'm not a neutrals girl.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one is my favorite.
The gray and beige kind of color. Yeah.
It's actually like super dynamic when you look close at it.
One of them's like a medium gray and a beige. Then there's a light frosty blue with that same beige. And then there's beige and cream. And then the frosty blue and cream.
I really like the frosty blue too, actually.
Yeah, they're good colors.
Yeah.
So one hat.
And you knitted your own pattern. I love that.
I don't remember.
That's the one with the ears usually also?
No. It's called,
it's just that.
I think it's called Marled Textures. And I designed it when we were at Anacapa, so it's a little old, but
still good.
It's still good, yeah.
Oldie but a goodie.
I had somebody come this week to Friday night drop-in, who's someone I've like been acquainted with forever because she's a school mom from when Alexander was in school.
Mm-hmm.
And she came with the cuff to cuff baby sweater, which I designed when I first came to Anacapa.
Somebody came into Super Buzzy to buy buttons this week.
Yes, it was Laura.
And I recognized the person for sure, but I didn't know who she was.
Yep, that's her.
And I recognized the pattern. And I was trying my hardest to be like, where do I know this? I know this pattern. It was your pattern.
Yep. I designed that sweater when I came to Ventura, so it's like 17 years old.
Yeah.
And she's making it for her first grandbaby.
Oh, that's
your pattern is a
I'm so glad you mentioned
teenager.
that because it was like, I know this pattern.
Well, when she took the class
your pattern is old
Anacapa,
enough to drive.
right? When she took the class at Anacapa, she her daughter said, I want you to make that for me when I am having a baby. And so her daughter's 28 now, and she's having their first,
wow.
baby.
I love that.
Yep. It made me so happy. Because she's also like a really nice lady.
Yes, she was very nice, and we went back and forth about the buttons that she was
What'd you
put on it. These little blue round ones that blended in. We were talking about whether or not the flowers were going to be too girly and blah blah blah. But
that's a choice, do you want your buttons to pop or blend?
Yep. I made 2 Atlas zipper cases.
I love it.
If you are one of our patron members, we talked about the things that we made as handmade. Well, the things that we gave for gifts for each other. So I made one for Anne and one for Karin, which is a fun pattern, and I'm teaching that as a class as well. It's by my favorite designer, Center Street Quilts. Center Street.
It's a great size.
Really clever then. Yes. Because her stuff comes together so smart.
It was a lot easier than it looks.
And it's a little bit really bigger than what the picture looked like, and I'm really happy about that because it's big enough. I think I could put a pattern in there. I could keep track of all kinds of stuff.
You could definitely like fold a pattern in half and keep it in there easy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I made. I think last time we recorded our podcast, I was talking about the dog sweater.
Yes.
Okay, so I made 2 dog sweaters for one of my BFF's new dogs, Mavis, and Mavis is. Aww. Bigger than I remember because I knitted 1 sweater for Mavis.
Oh, I love
it. My friend whose dog this is had a new jacket that was
black so cute,
red stripe. So I was like, I'm gonna make a sweater to match
for
her dog. Her dog is about twice as big as I thought it was. I was kind of just going off of like she's small dog sized.
Yeah.
So it almost fit her in the chest, but she's like infinitely long apparently.
Is she a dachshund?
She looks like she might have part dachshund. I'll try and get a picture of Mavis wearing her sweater.
Aww.
So this was the one that did not fit. So they gave it back to me, and then I asked them for specific measurements.
Is it froggable from here or no? Just start over easier.
I mean, I probably could have, but it was all finished and woven in and whatever. And,
it's a Cinderella dog sweater.
Well, I was talking to the group about it, and one of our customers was telling me that she loves black and red together, and she has a tiny dog. So aww. Melanie, next time I see you, aww. If you're listening, I actually have it with me this time, and your dog can have it.
And I hear that dog's kind of a tyrant, so I think it's gonna look great in the red and black
colors. So the second sweater,
it's boss colors.
Yeah,
the second sweater I made the same pattern, but I made it bigger and longer, and they wanted it to look like the dude sweater. Well, they just said. I said, what color do you want the sweater to be? And they said, dude sweater colors. And I was like, okay, easy enough. And I was like, I'm just going to make it in color work like the dude sweater.
Have they seen this yet?
Yeah, they loved it. And it fits the dog perfect. It could be longer. And I don't have a picture of it. I have a picture of me in progress knitting it, but I'm stupid and gave it to them before I took a picture. So
you will get a picture of it and put it on our Instagram.
I will text my friend right now and be like, please, because I'll see them this weekend and say, please bring your dog and your dog sweater. I made 2 pairs of pajama pants for James for Christmas to go with his Christmas present.
Lucky boy.
I've had this hermit crab fabric in my stash. Actually, talk amongst yourselves for a second because I have the fabric. I'll show you.
Well,
cool.
I will tell you about the fabric that almost made Mirabella cry. Like happy tears. So Alexander went to Joann's and their extensive choices of printed flannels, and he picked something special for each of us. So like Kevin got dinosaurs, and Dante got space, and I got sheepies, and his girlfriend got like a cute woodland scene. But for Mirabella, he found fabric that had scenes of a jumping spider in domestic life.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Which who even thought of that,
so
first
cute.
of all,
as a fabric?
Mirabella. And then secondly, she opened it and she immediately, because to me, I didn't like get what it was right away, but she like opened the fabric and understood.
She knew.
It's a jumping spider. And she was like shaking. She was so happy about these pajama pants.
That's so cute.
And the fact that her brother knows her so well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's our hermit
That was
crabs.
an open book.
That is beautiful.
That's a beautiful fabric.
This is the collection was called Mariana, and so it was like squids and all of these different
I think I
creatures.
bought some jellyfish or something.
Stuff down in the trench.
Yes.
That's cute.
So this is hermit crabs. James loves hermit crabs, so those are pajama shorts. They're shorts. He has this pair of pajama pants I made him years ago. We call them his pizza pants because, like I said, pizza. And it's his pizza fabric, but he complains every time he wears them that they don't have pockets.
Oh.
So this time they have pockets. But he's skinnier than he used to be, and now they're falling down. And I'm well, your pizza pants fit just fine, so I don't know what the deal is. And then the second pair I made in this,
well, that's Karen's new favorite animal,
Charlie Harper.
I love
armadillo.
it.
Oh, they're armadillos.
And can you see the little babies?
Yeah.
Little baby armadillos.
They're adorable.
I know, it's so cute. I love it. I love all Charlie Harper's fabrics.
I've never seen that one. I love it.
This is a newer one, at least at Super Buddy. The collection is called Nurture, and I think this is Nurture 3. There's more than one. So it's all like animals and their babies.
Right. I have some, I'll have to look at the edging that's like flamingos in their mommies.
Yeah, it's so cute. So 2 pairs of shorts for James. He was wearing his I think the hermit crab ones yesterday.
That is also Kevin's complaint about pajama pants, is the lack of pockets.
Yeah.
So I have a pattern that I've used that has pockets, but it's not as easy as the Simplicity one piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
it's
is
like it's so much
Alexander
easier
made
to
all
make
this.
it without pockets.
You wouldn't think that pajamas, because you're going to sleep in them, would need pockets, but you're going to lounge in them.
Right.
And yeah, I mean,
you need,
when we get home from work, your clothes are off, your pajamas on. Doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Exactly.
And then the last thing I made was one of those on the whim. Can I make one of these?
Oh yeah, I forgot something I finished because it was on the whim as well. Okay, finish your story.
I was on TikTok or Instagram or something, and somebody was talking about plastic canvas, and I was like, plastic canvas is fun to play with.
It is.
And then I had the idea of trying to make a D20 out of plastic canvas. I was like, can you make a giant die out of plastic canvas? So I did. So here's my my plastic canvas D20.
That's fantastic. Oh my god. I love this.
That's awesome.
I Googled it because I was like, I'm sure this is a thing that somebody else has done.
Yeah.
And I found like one TikTok about somebody and how they did it. And so I bought these little
Triangles.
Well, they came as like a hexagon shape, like 6 triangles that were stuck together. And so I cut it apart into equilateral triangle pieces. And then I stitched the red background on all of them. And then I stitched the numbers on all of them. And then I whip stitched it all together, which was fun to do. But it took so much longer than I was thinking it was going to. So this was like a couple weeks of every once in a while I would make another side because there's 20 sides to make. And James says I'm not allowed to play with it at the table, which is fair. I don't know how accurate or unbalanced it is.
What is it?
Yeah. So I'm not allowed to play with it when we play Dungeons
you can
and Dragons.
play with it.
But I made it and I love it. So it sits on my shelf and it looks awesome.
That is freaking fantastic.
It was very fun. So if you're wondering if you can, you can.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you followed that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewind to me again. There was a lady who came a couple times in the holiday season who she knew how to crochet, but she wanted to relearn granny squares because she had an auntie who makes the family granny square stockings, and the auntie is not well, so she wanted to learn so that she can make it for like her
carry on the
family.
torch. Yeah.
So they did like just the classic, very cute, conventional granny square, 3 rounds out, red, white, and green, and then Afghan stitch or Tunisian crocheted cuff that she should stitch the name on. I don't know if she finished in time, but she was fine with that. She was hoping she wanted to make 2, hoping she could finish 1, and
That's
then
awesome.
gift the other piece in the unfinished squares instead of coming. So while she was doing that, it was also Granny Square Day with my beginning crocheters, and I had it all like a rainbow of stash yarn that was just sitting there. And I still don't have a proper stocking because I have never finished knitting mine to match my family's. I haven't even ever made the coordinating one to go with the ones I gave you guys. So I was like, oh, I wonder if I could just quickly make a granny square stocking.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love
cute.
granny square stocking.
Yeah.
So, and I knitted my cuff and stranded my name in because I hate duplicate stitch. I get better at it every time I give it a try, but it's just not my friend. I'd rather strand.
I need to make another stocking because I made James and I's when we first got married, but I want to make one for my cat because I'm that person. Yeah. And I want it to match James and I's because she's part of the family.
Yeah.
And I used Isolde Teague's pattern, which is very classy and nice, and I love it. But I need to buy 2 skeins of monos, which, you know, at some point I will do, but like a cat stocking is at the bottom of my list of priorities. So maybe someday I'll be like, today's the day I'm going to knit April a Christmas stocking, but today is not that day. Someday she'll have her own.
I love that.
What have you finished, Karin? You're wearing something.
Yeah,
you just
I'll get to that in a minute.
On.
This whole thing. Okay, first I'm going to go back to the washcloths.
Yeah.
Here's one set. You remember, because they come into 3.
Yeah, those are great.
Yep. If I had thought about it, I would have gotten these done sooner so that, because when the kids came, they had a guest bathroom all to themselves, and I had all kinds of specialty things for them. These would have been great, but I didn't think of that in time.
Next time they visit.
So I did a test knit for Jamie Lomax, a Pacific Knit Co. from her Christmas.
That is so flipping cute.
Yeah, look,
it's a holiday
you
put in there.
So this is a cowl, and she gives you the basic cowl pattern. That she has all the basic patterns: basic hat, basic cowl, basic sock, and she did come out with a sweater pattern that is like a strange brew, but it is meant to, you could plug and play any of her
charts. Want to make that. It looks very fun.
So this one, I had a set of different ones, and I started the neck with, this is like, I think it's supposed to be like holly, like it's strands of holly, or
it looks
or
like
a bough.
Yeah.
Garland, that's it. Okay. And then this just looks like brick, like your fireplace.
Yep.
And this is like twinkle lights.
I see it.
And then this one is just like knitted sweater squares and stuff.
Texture.
I take it back. Scratch that. Okay. This, all messed up.
So I did right?
This was the Mary making knit along. Sorry, not Jamie Lomax.
You started the bows.
Doggone it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I just thought I remembered wrong.
Thank you. No, I said it wrong. I'm like, wait a minute, because I did both. But this was not a knit along. It was a mystery knit along. So we got a clue. That's what it was. So we got a clue every day for 12 days, for the first 12 days of December. That's right.
Cute.
Because I'm like, how is it that these? Yeah, because each one of these was a different clue, and I actually stayed, current each day.
That's awesome, because I was real now.
Yeah. Okay. So some of them was like this wreath was like 2 days, and that's then reasonable. This part with this was 1 day. So I mean, some of the bigger ones. So there's wreaths, and then this is supposed to be like stars. And I had bought a kit and but I chose, but they didn't have a kit that the original merrymaking cowl was paired with, so I did an alternative kit because, of course, by the time I figured it out, it sold out. But this is my favorite part: is the trucks with the Christmas tree on top.
It's very cute,
pretty classic.
Because there's actually just
Christmas tree.
Yep. And then this is like ribbon.
I like that.
And I really like this part because
those are really
I see these every day. Yeah,
Aww.
they're really good reindeer. In fact, when I went to get my ice cream, I realized I needed to slow down because there's like a herd of them just to the side of the road. And we don't have like our street. It's a street, so it doesn't have like a bike path or anything. So they're like a foot and a half from a deer lane. So
doesn't have a deer.
No, they really should. They really should, but it is a slower speed limit. And then I liked how this got worked into the ribbing.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's cute.
Well thought out.
Yep.
So cute, and I'm so impressed that at this time of the year that you kept up with it.
It was all
I would have.
Well, it was only 12 days.
Intentions.
The clues were small enough and doable each day. So it comes out like this shape, and this sort of rounds out.
Cute.
I've worn it multiple times, and then so before I stand up, so this is the crocheted vest.
Mm-hmm.
I learned I shouldn't have been lazy when it came to doing the ribbing on the side. I really should have gone. I was already down. I did a gauge swatch. I had to go down a hook size. I should have gone down another hook size like I was supposed to for the ribbing. And so I didn't, because I thought I could just crochet it tighter, which you get into rhythm.
We know that
but look at
right.
But look at, so you pick up stitches all the way, you crochet an edge all the way around. And I should show you. So it starts here, like on the inside, and you have the test, and you're attaching it along, but then you have these decreases. It's a little funky to figure that out, but it lays really nicely against the shoulder instead of coming up too high in the back. So you can see this is a little more narrow.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the second ball of Miss Babs. This is the first ball of Miss Babs. And there's definitely a place where the dye lots are different. And she tells you alternate them.
Yeah.
Did I do that? No, I did not.
No.
So what do you notice?
It's not at a great spot.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I would just frog back and put ribbing where it is, because I think that would be a better proportion.
Well, here's the thing. This is the shorter length. This was supposed to be cropped. And it's like...
It's a dress.
This is the shorter length.
Add 4 inches and you got like a little flirty dress.
Okay, I do think it was... Because I've seen hers and I've seen others. My row gauge was just too big. And I was on a smaller hook. But that's fine, because... I ran out of this, but I did this part first before I continued. So I'm going to frog back to here and put the ribbing here, and it'll be right where I want it to be. Yeah, it's a little deep here, but I do like how...
But it's a vest.
It's a vest, but I do like how the underarms... It's kind of deep, but I like how they overlap.
Yeah.
And it won't do this flippy thing if I go down a hook size or two.
Yep.
When I take it in. So I think I was like, wait, if I bring this up,
it's gonna be way cuter.
Oh, that's gonna be super cute.
Way cuter. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it'll be more like it's supposed
your true waist.
But I technically have finished, so I met the requirement.
Yeah.
I've been given,
count it,
and I've been
you
good
can
with
count it again when you finish it again.
No, I also meant for the test crochet. For the test, I've completed that portion. But she understands I'm going to frog it back. And other people have also noted it's not just me. Other people have had it too long. I don't mind this being so deep if this gets pulled in.
Yeah.
Because it's the right width. I don't want to go too small because then it's too small width-wise. So I just needed to shore up some shaping. But otherwise, I like it. It's a really cool. Let me take this off and I'll show you. It's called like the moss stitch, moss or linen stitch. It might be the linen stitch in crochet. and
it's got good texture.
Single crochet. I think you can actually see the stitch better in the lighter color that I'm going to be ripping off. But look how cool that is.
Yeah, that's a fun stitch. I like the way
it's
it
a
feels.
really it's got the whole thing has a really nice drape. So this is, and I still have, so I needed to go into my third ball of Yowza.
Yowza.
But I could have done it with 2 Yowzas now.
Yeah.
Because I went into Yowza way down here. But so I would have had it. Yeah. So where the and I did, so my second 2 balls of Yowza for a vest. That's great. In crochet. That's awesome.
Yeah, because crochet's a yarn.
And this is a size 2, and this is a size 2X. So, that's it's nice when you can. I know Yowzas are very, very exceptionally large yardage skeins of DK, but I guess I would, if I'd had sleeves, so I could pull it back. And of course, it does not meant to have sleeves, but I was like, I will say it did go pretty quickly though. It didn't take me much time at all. And frogging it back, I just wish I had tried it on before I was so good at weaving in all my ends.
Right.
Doggone it. Why'd I be so good at that?
Right. So, discipline doesn't pay off sometimes.
Yeah. And I could have tried it on before, because I blocked it very sparingly, just like kind of squishing it up and trying to. Yeah.
So is that everything?
That's it.
That's pretty
not
good.
a lot,
That's
but I've been doing a ton of cooking.
You finished a huge cowl and a whole vest. And something else. Washcloths?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Washcloths, yeah. And and those are all things started in December. So it's not even stuff that started. I might have started at Thanksgiving actually. But because she has,
I'm not gonna hold you to it. I forgot another finish thing, but I have no pictures of it, I think.
Yeah.
I finished my red and green striped sweater.
Oh, and your Tolsta.
Yeah, my Tolsta.
Oh.
Yeah. And you even talked about Tolsta.
Look back at the pictures, because I know we've posted it before. Just imagine it finished.
Yeah.
There you go.
It turned out really cute. But I don't think I took any pictures. So I'll tell you guys about it next month.
All right.
I'll bring it next
We'll let you count it next time.
Thanks.
You guys have been so good about stash. I've been really good about totally ignoring stash and yarn splurge.
Don't give me too much credit, because I'm also doing things like, I need to buy a little bit more to finish the thing I have in my stash.
No, I'm at the point where I'm like,
also have a huge box of
I will print out the pattern. I will print out the pattern and have a bag ready for when the yarn arrives, so it's already kitted up. Otherwise, it'll go. I'm making new stash.
There you go. Yeah, I bought all new yarn to make this sweater, so I have not been good about stash, but that's all good.
Sometimes you are, sometimes you're not.
Yeah,
everything has its season.
I don't have a sweater's worth of yarn in my stash, so my stash is getting pretty small, which is fine.
That is hard. That is hard when you have, and I don't always want to do stash busting style.
Right.
Sometimes it's nice to have something that's all one colorway.
Yeah.
So,
cool. What are we obsessed with?
I was gonna say, you get to go first.
Okay. So, the book that you chose, Katie, last, what was that called?
The Mercies?
The Mercies, right? So we have this village full of women. One terrible tragedy wipes out all their menfolk. Everyone is sharing the same terrible, terrible trauma. Happens faster than anyone can do anything about it. So there is a show that you guys might have already watched, because I think it came out in 2017. And I just wasn't I just didn't feel like watching it, but it keeps getting recommended to me. It's called Godless. And the premise is a old west town in New Mexico where all the men were lost to a silver mine. I think 81 men in one go.
Oof.
Wow.
And there's one guy who survives, a kid. He survives, and then they're about to collide with a group of bandits who are just bloodthirsty and merciless, but also just kind of chill.
Okay.
They're led by Jeff Daniels, who, as a villain, is good.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good
good actor. He's good at being funny. He's good at being serious.
Goofy,
he's good at being
lovable.
genuine.
I mean, think Arachnophobia, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
But then this, Godless, and then he's in something else like recently.
I watched something recently that he was in, and I was like, he's so good.
Like A Serious Man or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's not called that, but anyway, so he is mesmerizing, but pure evil. And just, it was so good. So if you want to revisit like women getting their shit together in situations where they are nothing but disadvantaged by their situation, and finding their power, which happened a bit in the Mercies, not as much as we would have liked perhaps, but this was very satisfying and really, really engaging and well done. I think it was a limited series. I think maybe 6 episodes is all. I watched it in a couple nights and it was so good.
Nice.
Okay, and then my other obsession, even though I don't really like decorating for Christmas, is I want to make a ton of felt ornaments. Like, I am completely obsessed with, like, think mod 1950s style felt ornaments with
that's
sequins
awesome.
and blanket stitch and appliques and heavy embroidery. So
I'm here for it.
I bought something. I stopped at the Creation Station when we headed to Solvang, and they had a cute set of 3 ornament pattern that's like scissors and a rotary cutter and a cute little sewing machine. So I'm going to start there.
Cute.
And I thought it might be kind of fun to make them throughout the year with like something special that happened at that time and not necessarily Christmassy. So, like, do you guys know about No Jokey Falls or No Hokey Falls on the way to Solvang? I love that everybody I ask about it doesn't know about it. So if you find yourself in California on your way to Solvang, heading either direction, you will see a sign that if you just phonetically pronounce it, it looks like No Jokey. We stumbled upon it when I was like 11 because my dad loved
You're kidding.
Take a road trip.
Get it?
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, I sent my little brother a picture from it, and
I have seen this sign. I know what you're talking about.
I had sent a picture from my little brother of Bella playing, and it's very clear where we are, and he's like, "No kidding." And we didn't know it was No Hokey then, so that was our family was like, No Jokey Falls, it's so great. Which probably like scratches the ears of the locals.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the people, because I think it's named after people. Anyway, so you turn off the freeway. It's before the You Pick Your Own Blueberries place, which is also really amazing and fun. You can do both things when you stop there if it's open.
Or after, what is it called? Pork Palace.
I don't know Pork Palace.
Oh, it's like a come buy a pig place, but there's a sign.
That's on the other side of the freeway.
Oh, got it.
I think it's before.
Got it.
Because I think you have to get almost to Santa Maria for Pork Palace. Because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's well before.
Okay.
So it's on the northbound side. Okay, so you go in. It's a county park. You drive in, and on the way there's a winery, and across the street from the winery they put up a farm stand that has animals that you can feed carrots and pet. And they had a Highland cow, they had a llama,
they're so
they
cool,
had an alpaca, they had a ton of piglets and little tiny like pot-bellied pigs, and they had lambs and donkeys, and on the first pass of this going to the falls, because when you get to No Hokey, it's a like a half-mile flat walk, not a hike, and there's this beautiful little waterfall, and it's just this wonderful little treasure.
Love
and it was like very autumny and like damp forest smelling, which I don't think I've ever encountered it in that state. I've been there in an August, a June, and twice in January. And one January it was just like cold and brittle, and this January it was kind of autumnal.
Nice.
But the animals were so amazing. So we stayed in the Solving area from Sunday to Thursday. I left to go to work for a couple days, but they stayed up there without me.
Nice.
And we decided we would just meander home on the last day and take our time. So Kevin's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I want to go buy more carrots." Here's the Highland cow.
Oh, look at that fuzzy boy.
Look at Karen, the Highland cow.
Oh, they're so cute.
And Kevin really wanted the donkeys to come over to him. And Bella was obsessed with the llama. With the alpaca. And the alpaca was so darling looking. And I was like, "Feed him those carrots and I'm gonna scratch his head." And he was like, "No, you're not." So you go to like scratch the top of his head and he ducked down and look at you like you were a monster.
Aww.
Like, did you ask consent for this?
So I did not consent to petting.
Of her feeding the alpaca.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, that's so fun.
It's like, you can feed me all the carrots from a distance.
Look at the sweet face sheepy. Look at that sheepy. Look at that sheepy.
Aww.
And there were goats. I left off the goats. They were wonderful. Anyway, so if you find yourself on the 101 heading north, stop at the winery and their farm stand and pet the carrots. Pet the carrots.
Pet the carrots.
Feed the carrots. Pet the animals. And I feel like you could maybe bring your own carrot sticks. She had like a big chomper thing that cut them into carrot stick size.
Okay.
And it was $5 for a basket, which it was the best, over
it.
time, $20 that I spent the whole trip. But
That's
if
cool.
you wanted to bring your own carrots, I don't know if they'd stop you because you're just feeding their animals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can they prove that you didn't get the carrots from them?
Right. I'm just wondering about etiquette, but it was time well spent and carrots well fed. So I want to make a Highland cow. I want to make a donkey, and I want to make an alpaca ornament, which there's a million patterns for them on Pinterest. So I think it'll be fun to kind of take key moments from the year and make the ornaments out of those.
Cute.
Meanwhile, I want to downsize the tree in our house. I'm thinking about this size tree, which I don't think could carry very many.
No.
I was going to count how many we actually have up here.
that tree could fit a lot more, but
yeah. Anyway,
cool.
So those are my obsessions. How about you, Katie?
I just counted my stitches and I don't have the right number, so let me make a note. But I need to figure that out.
So close, though.
What is my obsession? I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller.
Yeah.
And I love it so much.
Scale for that versus
Circe was the other one that we read, which I did love, and it made me want to reread it because I was thinking the same thing. But everyone that I have read says that Song of Achilles is her better book, and it was so good. So I don't know which one I like better, but it was so good.
I have that in my stack of books.
It made me cry. I highly recommend it. But then I've just been in this like rabbit hole of Greek mythology. So now I'm reading the Odyssey, which I had to pause so that I could read our book club book. But as soon as that's done, I'm going back to the Odyssey. And I've been telling James like the story every night. I'm like, here's what happened. Here's today's episode of what happened on the Odyssey. So Menelaus is, or whatever. It's whatever is happening at the time. So I've been regaling James with the story of the Odyssey, which everybody knows. But every day it's like, here's your little chunk for the day.
Because I also read it, but I didn't finish the last little bit. Because like something poignant happens, and I was about to have that same experience, which was his dog greets him, and we were coming home from a long trip, and I was like, I want to see my dog so bad. Anyway, and then I put the book down. But when you really read it, there's so much.
I love it.
You have the gist of it. We all have the gist.
Yeah, everybody knows the gist.
Yeah, but you have the freshest take on it.
I love it.
So you can. To me, speaking about the Odyssey, is because I loved the Odyssey, but before I'd read the Odyssey, I had read Voyage of the Dawn Treader in the Narnia series, which the Odyssey is far older, but it's another one of those little adventures of, right? Mm-hmm. But still, it's like all these little stories of things that happened to him on the way home, just trying to get home. And you understand why it took him 20 years. I mean, I feel like he could have gotten home faster if he just said he was sorry.
Right.
But then it wouldn't have been very adventurous.
Any other god than Athena.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was Poseidon that wasn't
Right,
it Poseidon
but
that
Athena's the only one watching out
do you
for him.
remember in
yeah.
the Medusa book we read? What was that
Stone
one?
Blind.
Stone
Yeah.
Blind. She says it's an offhanded comment. I love it so much because it's like a little wink to the if you know, you know. She's like, I want to make this deal with you, but I'm also want the privilege of saving one mortal when I choose to.
Yes.
And we know it. We know who.
I wonder who it is. Yeah, there was something. Oh, it just went through my brain. There was some reference that I was very excited about because I was like, oh shoot, I'm not going to be able to remember. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then, so I read Song of Achilles. Oh, that's the thing. At the end, Odysseus is talking to somebody, and it's not important who this person is, but it would be a spoiler if I told you.
Yeah.
And he says something like, this guy's being a real piece of shit, and he's like, I'm the most famous guy in the world, and everybody's going to remember my name. And Odysseus is like, maybe, or maybe everybody will remember my name, and no one will remember who you are. And I was like, that's pretty good.
And there it is.
You're called wise for a reason, Odysseus. So then I finished Song of Achilles, and we watched Troy, which was fun. Because I knew everything that was going to happen, because I'm like, God, I literally just read this book. So that was fun. And now I'm just like in like an obsession about Greek mythology. And I was telling James how like I really wish I could like take a class. Like I want to go to school. I want to take a class.
Yeah.
And I know I could like learn.
No, but you could enroll at Ventura College.
I could. I don't know if they have a class on Greek mythology, but it would be fun. And I would like to do that.
For it.
Yeah.
Masterclass probably has something that you'd enjoy, even though it might not scratch the itch you're looking for.
Yeah.
Have you watched Chaos? It's a new show on Amazon, which I started, but I like it's good. I just wasn't like
I have mixed feelings about it.
Well, it starts Jeff Goldblum as Zeus, so
I know I love everything with Jeff Goldblum. So this is where I'm starting to
Goldblum if he's not being Jeff Goldblum about it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Have
exactly.
You seen the guy Matt Friend who does a bunch of impersonations. I just stumbled upon him yesterday, and his big shtick is doing the voice of the person to that person, and he and Jeff Goldblum are like,
it's so funny.
It's wonderful. So, yeah, there's a book that Kevin really loves called it's the Bobiverse, and it's We Are Bob. It's 5 books now, and it's this one guy whose brain is like essentially cloned, and he reemerges as different pop culture characters and as himself essentially. And so you need someone like that. I'm like, that Kevin was like, Alan Tiddick should be the star of the show because it's in development.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, because this character's only like 33.
Be that guy.
And Alan Tiddick looks great, and I adore him.
He's 50 something.
But he's in his mid 50s.
Is he?
I think he's actually in his late 50s.
Yeah.
Because I was looking up ages recently.
Hey,
but this guy, Matt Friend, is so young. But it's the character's 33. I'm not 33.
I'm not 33.
No.
Yeah. So I think that guy, Matt Friend,
that should be the guy.
Yeah. Amazon
Question:
should be reaching out.
Is Resident Alien coming back? Speaking of Alan Tiddick,
yeah, it didn't grip me.
I liked the first season to like it always takes half a season for me to get into anything, and then I just like my husband Jim got into him when he got into Firefly when he realized it was the guy from Resident Alien.
Oh, so he's a latecomer.
Yeah, he is. But he's exercising a new thing where he actually asks me what I want to watch and what I would like to see. Surprisingly, we got to go see Wicked together this weekend. I thought I was going to have to watch it by myself. And I think he overheard me telling the kids that, and he was like, "Well, I read the book." I'm like, "When did you read the book? Who is it? Who are you?" So
that's funny.
Trying to think if I'm obsessed with anything.
Yeah. Do you have anything, Karin?
Trying to think of what I really haven't had I don't really have the mind space to stay focused long enough to be obsessed with anything. I just have been obsessed with, I guess, nothing, not media or anything like that. I wait till everyone's gone to bed, and then I'm like actually getting a lot more done when I work till 2:30 in the morning. Because then the house is quiet. And I'm obsessed with our new kitty. Our new kitty that
Kelly.
has, we've never had an animal bond. And he comes and I'll be knitting and everything. He crawls onto my arm and then walks over to my chest and just plops. And he's like, I live here now. You must stop what you're doing.
Right? Yep. I had a recent opportunity to have a cat on my lap, which I don't normally get. And I like this cat on my lap. It was a barn cat for like 20-30 minutes. And it was bliss.
I know. I feel so blessed when my cat sits with me because I'm like B team human.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care about me at all. Unless
she's James's cat.
1,000% she's James's cat. And I pretend like, oh, she loves me. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about me at all. But every once in a while she'll come sit with me if I'm the only option. And I always feel so lucky.
Nice.
I raised 3 kids. Yeah. Between my 3 kids and a husband, it took a second cat to actually have any interest in me.
She doesn't like relax.
No, she doesn't. This was her yesterday sitting on my lap. She's angry because I was trying to take her picture. I'll post this picture.
What? Okay. What is it about?
She's beautiful though.
Wait.
There's another one.
Do you guys notice that? Huh? Something about the camera. My cat. Every time I try to take a picture. They do. They
don't like it. They know.
They know something. How do they know? How do they know that this?
Because you're like, look over here, cat. She's like, how dare you tell me what to do?
I know, but they'll do it.
What it is.
Okay, but if you don't put the camera up, they will. But if you don't put the camera up, they will do it. Right? Well, as soon as you try to put the camera up,
my cat, like, just my cat dog Yuki.
Yeah, they're like, I did not consent to my picture.
Well, that's what I was, I'd had this cat on my lap experience on the Friday after Christmas. And then they stayed up in Solvang on Monday and Tuesday. And I came home. So Monday night, I was at home with the dogs. We're like, where did you guys go? And so Yuki was all over me. And she doesn't often spend the night, like, on the cushion next to me cuddling, but she was. So I was trying to get a picture to show them that I again had a cat on the lap because Yuki is a cat dog.
Yeah, she counts.
But it didn't happen. So you'll just have to take my word for it.
I believe you. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our discussion here tonight, friends. Check out our Patreon if you want to watch us open Christmas presents, because we did a little video for this one as a little special treat. We're going to have a book club episode out in 2 weeks, and we're talking about Grown by Tiffany D. Jefferson?
Yes. Jackson.
Tiffany
D. Jackson.
I wrote it down today, but it did not stick in my brain.
There it is.
So if you want to hear us discuss a book, we will be back in 2 weeks for that. And I think that is all.
That's all she wrote.
I think that's all. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, everyone.